No, no shrieking, Brian.
Oh, look at that. He just said right at the beginning of the video, no shrieking,
Oh,
Brian.
sorry, sorry about that. You want to try it again?
No, it's okay. I'll put it up as it is. But anyways, we are Geeks Assembled, and we are talking about today a 2011 movie, a J.J. Abrams movie, produced by Mr. Spielberg. We are talking Super 8. Admittedly, I've never seen this movie before. It's my first time this week. It's totally new to me. So we'll go pass it over to these guys here for their opening thoughts on this movie. Seeing as Brian's waving his Blu-ray about, we'll go to Brian first for his opening thoughts. What do you think to Super 8?
You went to me first, oh man.
You was getting my attention by waving it.
I just wanted to show the cover, that's all.
Oh,
but
well,
as you went to me, I guess I could go first. And I'm the one that suggested this film.
No, you did.
There you go.
So over to you.
But Super 8, this is probably the third time I've seen this film, because I haven't seen this film in a long time until last weekend and this weekend. And with the film in general, and mostly, in my opinion, it helps with Abrams and Spielberg being behind the movie, but I really love this film. I pretty much forgot how I forgot how good the film is to me. It has it has definitely a Spielberg feel to it. It also kind of has like some elements to it of like different movies and TV that they had on in the past and have recently, like Stranger Things, E.T., and of course the new the horror movie that they have out now, It, or even like the original Edit, whatever. But mostly the point being is it has a lot of those aspects and feels to it within this film, and at least that's what I got from it. And it's really a good movie. I really enjoyed it. Because it's not like one of those films of like it's not like one of like with the film having like a extraterrestrial alien in it. You don't really get to see bad CGI or whatever. It's actually quite good, and actually a good, decent effect for an alien. And you don't really even get to see the alien until like towards the end. You get to see like maybe a reflection of it within a puddle within the movie. But other than that, you don't really get to see the alien until towards the end, which is, I think, a unique and smart way to make the monster / alien more terrifying and leave it up to the imagination. Because actually, that's one of the things I love about movies sometimes, because not seeing and not showing what threats or even scary things are is a little bit more intimidating and scary, because because the imagination fills in the gaps, and it leaves it up to your imagination of what the actual threat could look like. That's what mostly horror movies that I'm not saying that this is a horror movie, but horror movies like John Carpenter's Halloween, you don't really get to see any blood and gore until like at least not at all really, and you don't get to see Michael Myers within that film until the end. So that that aspect as well reminded me within this film. All the actors and actresses were great in the film. Like the kids that were in the film were great in the film. Again, it reminded me like Stranger Things and It, and the guy that played the deputy. I've seen him in loads like other things. Like I mostly I mostly recognize him, and I think best known for, at least for me, is Friday Night Lights TV series. So, but yeah, that actor's a great actor, and I honestly forgot that he was even in this film, but he's a good actor, and I liked him as the deputy and everything. I like the story. I mean, like I like the story from start to finish. Starts out like as a very sad feel to like the main kid of the film just lost his mother, and the father has to step in, which is the act that I just told you about, like from Friday Night Lights and everything. He has to take over as the responsibility for the kid, and a couple months has passed, and then it's mostly about kids making a zombie movie, and I feel like having like them working on with a movie, it's very different and unique way of like them filming a movie and with them film a movie within and having this movie having like the alien and everything. It's very to me I feel like it's different, and it I don't know, it's just it feels different of way of progressing a story, and I absolutely 100% love it. So
Well,
so I really love this movie, and it's a great movie.
that's the most talkative you've ever been on a cast, Brian. Good for you. So he loved it. Let's go to Alex and Susan. What's your
Okay,
opening?
now I'm gonna go in and say some more. I'm just kidding.
No. We'll come back to you in a bit.
Yeah, I'll throw it over to you, like after Alex is done. So the cast was, it was Joel Courtney, who played Joe Lamb, and Jessica Took, and Joel McKinnick, and Ryan Lee, Zach Mills, Riley Griffiths. And that's the first Griffiths we'll talk about, because there's another Griffiths in the next movie. And Gabriel Basso was Martin, and Kyle Chandler is the deputy, and Ron Ellard is the other guy, the father of the girl. AJ Michalaka and Bridge Flatmo and Ella Fanning and Glenn Turman as Dr. or Mr. Woodward from the high school. And the evil guy was Noah Emmerich. And he's been in a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff. And so, yeah, good cast, and played parts well. Started, as Brian was saying, started really sad, and then the kids were shooting a movie, and then there was a train wreck, and the train wreck was caught on their camera, and so they learned what was really happening. And it was great. It was like it really was very atmospheric 80s feel. And you know, there was there was J.J. Abrams making things like the way he's fond of, with like lens flares, and so that was pretty cool. He had lots of lens flares in this one, so that was his stylistic thing. And we watched it, and it never lost pace. It was just really kind of an amazing story, and you really actually felt for the kids, and you felt for the and you ended up feeling for the alien. So um yeah, it was definitely a beautiful piece of film. And that's my opening thoughts. Here's Alex.
Yeah, it's okay. If you want to throw back, like everybody likes Stranger Things, and it has a similar feel. This is the late '70s, early '80s, and of course you have the nostalgic feel, and of course it wouldn't feel the same if everybody had cell phones like they do now and things like that. The beginning is good. It is a little bit like Jaws and Close Encounters in the sense that everybody's terrified or scared of a force that they can't control or they can't immediately see or whatever. And there is some good performances, especially by the sister actors. Michaela, I think, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. And what's the other one?
Ella Fanning.
The Fanning sisters. But there's like about 30 American families that have been actors for a while, and the brothers and sisters too. Um, But as far as the actual movie, and if I had to pay for this movie, no, I wouldn't feel too good about that. I'd rather watch the real Close Encounters and the real Jaws. This might look a little better visually, and it might be a little tighter pace, but no. The kids are all right. Like I said, I feel like Stranger Things kind of stole from this movie. But then again, everything's sort of an homage too. I mean, there's very little that is totally original.
True.
Of course, I do like Winona Ryder, so there you go. That's the main reason why I'd watch Stranger Things anyway. Here, Kyle McClanahan is all right. So there's some good acting in here. There's some good atmosphere in here. The writing isn't horrible. But like I said, I'd rather watch the original. I forgot I had this movie. I actually kind of got a screener of it. I forgot. It's also another weird because in 2011 the superhero movies started getting made again, Green Lantern and other things. You also had a lot of art house movies, so I have a feeling they were trying to throw a little bit of everything in here. But as a screener, I won't throw it away, but I wouldn't necessarily buy it, and I certainly wouldn't spend, $20 to $25 on it. But like I said, I do appreciate that they have the sister actors that have gotten a little bigger since that movie came out in 2011. Of course, the sisters, Dakota Fanning and the other Michaela, are bigger stars. They're more well known in movies. But that's okay because everybody has to start somewhere, and almost every actor has done good, bad, or middle, or terrible. So it all depends on what actor we're talking about and what movie we're talking about. Visually, this is a great movie. Um, like I said, if you want atmosphere, if you want people sort of terrified a little bit, and it does have some good performances in it, but I'd rather watch Jaws and E.T. and Close Encounters, the original inspirations, I think, for this movie.
Well, yeah, I can understand. Yeah, it's got that feel about it. It's got Close Encounters, it's got Stranger Things, E.T. it's a homage, and it does it very well. With a $50 million budget, it grossed around about 260 million. So not bad going. The young actors in this are wonderful. I really did enjoy watching these kids. I mean, it just had the essence of, harking back to when you were younger, you wanted to be an actor and do stuff with the gang of kids. This is what they're doing. They're making their own movies, zombie movies, of course. It was just because because the zombie movies sort of were in then in the late 70s, but this is brilliant, and for me to look at, it's tremendous. It's very. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Abrams' flair on the script. Yes, yeah, because sometimes he can use it too much, but yeah, but hey ho, what can you do? For me, though, the standout for me, I mean, I totally agree with what Brian said about the alien keeping it low key, but a little reveal at the end is the way to go. But for me, one of the best moments in this movie was the train crash. That was just filmed to perfection. Having those kids in the middle of all that, acting their socks off, and you've got explosions here, explosions there. That was so brilliant. I can't even say it. Cinematography is just brilliant on that. Really well done. Story-wise, yeah, it's a simple story of the military having hold of an alien technology and an alien. Alien escapes and into a little town. And you say all those strange things what are happening in the movie. It's very reminiscent of Close Encounters. Things happening. It was a joy to watch this. So we'll go back again to Susan and Alex. Things what you liked, things what you didn't like. Over to you two.
Well, all right. I really liked the part in the when they're shooting the extra footage on the top of the hill, and they decide to go and rescue him, and that was cool. And I like the let's see. I liked it when her father was telling her to never talk to him and his family again, and his parents are telling him never to talk to her or her father again. I mean, it's just like, it was kind of like, ooh, let's set up this Romeo Juliet type thing, but then they, I mean, as you saw from the first image, eventually it all just chilled out. They didn't make it super weird romantically like that. But it was cool also that the other kid who was making the movie, that his, he was like, wanted to be her boyfriend and stuff, and so there were real kid issues in it, and that was kind of cool. So those are my favorite moments, and the things that were really recognizable about it and relatable. Let's say relatable. How's that for a good internet word on this podcast on the internet? Here's Alex.
Yeah, like I said, it's not a bad movie. I just didn't like it as much as I thought I would. Again, Stranger Things came out after this, so I think that's about what it was 2000.
This was 11.
Yeah, 2016 or whatever. So that's Stranger Things.
Yeah.
And at least the kids aren't as obnoxious as those kids are. Like I said, I watch that too. I'm just not avid about it. Walking Dead came out a year before this, but And it was kind of cute that they were doing like a zombie tribute. The zombie movies did kind of fall out of favor for about what, maybe 15 years, not counting 28 Days Later or whatever.
But there was the
So that,
Cesar Romero.
yeah, that was cool. And that they actually had some really good lines that they read very well, so that was great. Um, so yeah, if you're using the old stunt of a movie within a movie, then this was very good in a way. Mostly good. If you're doing the, like I said, I could watch the originals of it, the inspirations for it. But like I said, it's not, it's not a bad version of it. The adults, yeah, they probably could have used a little bit more, but Kyle did a good job. He is a good actor. It's just a question of finding material that I'm willing to watch. I mean, that's the other question too. That the sisters, the very young, what is it, maybe 9 to 12 years old she is, the Fanning actress, and then Michaela, who's a little older, who is on mostly TV now on ABC.
She's on that school show.
Right, she's on the school TV series, which is being a little bit retooled. They were very good in the movie as well. Like I said, the kids weren't as obnoxious. I did like that scene for a weird reason of the kid with the super striped shirt who's filming the movie said the P word in front of her and the other kid and apologized to the girl. Which, yeah, I don't think they really would have said that in 1978 or 1980 in a quote unquote family picture. They might have said that in a horror movie. But I'd still like the fact that he kind of apologized, that he knew he was being a little rude. So I did like that. There were times that the kids were a little obnoxious, but like I said, not as obnoxious as Stranger Things. But that's a different movie. That's a different time frame. So as we know, every 10 years, the decades sort of change. And it takes like 15 to 20 years to develop out of it or develop to something else. So um, I'm not sure what it would have taken for me to really, really like this movie. I don't know if it would have needed more characters or more dialogue that I liked. Like I said, I'd rather watch Close Encounters and Jaws and Romero zombie movies. I thought he did a really good job 90% of the time. I know that they evolved and they had other producers that knew them and such and such. But that's another thing because I know people wanted a sequel to this. And it doesn't seem like they've ever really thought of that. Plus, they'd have to be teenagers. Plus, I don't know if they could get everybody back because what? Now this is 8 years old now, 8 or 9 years old.
Well, what's the sequel? The alien took off. The
Yeah.
spaceship's gone.
Yeah, and of course they did show the zombie movie in a lot of versions during the credits, or in between the credits. So yeah, no, I know this movie had a lot of fans in a way too. But like I said, I'd rather watch the originals. But I'll give it credit with the exception of Winona Ryder that it is slightly more. It's not as obnoxious as Stranger Things.
Cool, cool. And over to Brian. To you.
My turn again?
Oh yeah, it comes around so quick, doesn't it, Brian?
Yes. Okay.
Things what you liked about this movie, or things what you'd rather not have been in the movie. Things you'd like to have changed.
I don't have anything that I would change. I absolutely love this film. But I think probably my favorite moment would probably be the for when they're filming part of the movie and it's the train crash. I think that's probably my big favorite moment within the film. And also, I think another one would probably be the when the alien is at the gas station, and you get to see the sheriff disappear, and the police car is smashed, and the gas station worker that works there, you get to see him being chased by the alien, and you see there's a struggle, and you see him being taken as well, because that I believe, because that really feels to me like something that you would actually see in a horror movie.
Yeah, it's got a mixture of everything, this movie, doesn't it?
Yeah, like science fiction, horror, again, like pretty much everything really. And I believe my last and final favorite moment is when you actually do see the alien at the end, because it's actually a pretty good, nice, decent job of an alien effect. Because actually, the alien itself, when you actually do see it, and the scenes you see it in, the look of the alien kind of reminds me of like the makeup, like the makeup special effects and everything that they would do for the TV series Stranger Things. I'm not Stranger Things. What's it called? Fallen Skies, rather. Fallen Skies. Because there's a TV series called Fallen Skies, and Spielberg is in charge of that one too. So,
well, when I saw the alien, when you sort of get a close up of the face, and you only see it for maybe under a minute, where he's the kid's there in front of the face of the alien. I was getting ET vibes from that, the face, the eyes, the nose. But as you say, it's Spielberg, so he's got a lot of influence in this. And also, as well, it's good to see he's always putting stuff in for his mate George Lucas as well. There's a few Star Wars things hanging about in the boys' bedrooms.
Yeah. All of the aliens that Spielberg makes all have that. I mean, even in Indiana Jones, they all have that Gray's face with the elongated eyes and stuff. I here I am on the 21st, the day after they stormed Area 51, and I'm just thinking maybe Steven Spielberg knows something that we don't know.
All right, well, let me see if I'll from that. Of course, the other issue too is Stranger Things is still very popular, even though that's on Netflix. And they brought back Roswell. They rebooted Roswell, the TV series. They redid it as opposed to the '90s one with Katherine Heigl and Cheryl Appleby. I know I'm pronouncing the name a little bit wrong. Yeah, so I mean, it is kind of funny how, in a way, they're sort of running out of material, and they're also doing a tribute to the material. That they're bringing back all that.
The original Roswell TV series is best. The remake is fucking shit. I hate it.
No. Wash your mouth out with soap, Brian. Potty mouth. Yeah, I think I've already mentioned my favourite bits about the train crash. There is a good bit in it though at the end where they're in the catacombs with the alien, and they found the sheriff, they found the woman with the curlers in their hair. They think, oh wow, they're all going to survive. They found them, they're all going to go and get out of there. No. No. You think, so
no, you knew that sheriff was going to get killed, because at least I had a feeling.
Yeah, well, you thought 1 minute you think, oh, they're all going to get out. They know the way out. They're going to get out, but no, they're not. No, but yeah, it's I enjoyed this. It was for me, it was a breath of fresh air to watch something like this. To sit through it from beginning to end and enjoy it. Apart from the lens flare, but
Well, that's
No.
J.J. Abrams. So.
Yeah, no. That's my only gripe with this movie.
So did you like the part where that little brick attached itself to the water tower and then sucked all of the metallic materials from the whole rest of the city
Yeah.
that was awesome.
I mean, I did have to look because they said, "Oh, what is it? It looks like a new fangled Rubik's cube, something like that." Didn't I? I thought I was positive Rubik's cube was 80s, but it wasn't. It was 1973. I had to Google that, folks.
Well, I mean, again, it's as I mentioned, and as Lee knows, and Susan and even Brian knows, you can invent something, but that doesn't mean it catches on and it's in the public consciousness until many years later. So I think Rubik's Cube came out in 1980, I think.
Just said 73.
No, he might have invented it in 73, but it didn't come out. Yeah, it didn't.
But this movie started in 1979.
Right,
and,
right.
And they knew about the Rubik's Cube then.
Right. So that's what I mean is that people forget that there's an overlap and all that. Go ahead.
But it wasn't the Rubik's Cube. It was the aliens.
Right.
Construction material.
Right.
I just got a replicators feel from Stargate.
Yeah. Well, no, but that was the closest thing that because there was like two other products they were trying to compete with the Rubik's Cube, and one of them got completely lost, and the other one was like a chain. It was like a 4-block stick, and it had like a chain picture on it, and that was the other one that was competing with Rubik's Cube in 79 to 82 or 84, and that was the only one that even half competed. So,
cool.
Yeah.
If we haven't got anything else to say about this movie, shall we see what the scores are going to be?
I have one other thing.
Go on then. I'll let you go. What, you want to go to the toilet, Brian? I'll excuse you. Go on.
I just wanted to add that, and I just want to add with the ending scene when the alien is recreating his ship and taking all the metal that he can to actually make a ship again. And one of the things that ends up leaving the Earth and the use for his ship is the locket necklace that the locket necklace that the kid has. And I feel like that when it was starting to float away and that you see it open, I feel like the father and the kid never actually got some closure. So that's kind of like a symbolic way to actually get some closure in their lives, and they kind of in their own way say their goodbye before he actually lets go of the necklace.
Wow.
That was so deep.
Yes. See, we underestimate you, Brian. We really do. Right, we'll go to the scores. And seeing as Susan and Alex are unmiked, we'll go to them first.
All right. Well, here, you sounded like you.
Yeah, I'll give this a 7.5. Like I said, I'd rather be watching the original source material. The cast is pretty good. There are some bright spots, not counting the lens flare from Abrams. Star Wars and Star Trek notwithstanding, and they have a lot of female characters in here that I think are actually strong. But I still would rather watch the original source material. And I understand everything's an homage and stuff, but I think that it probably could have been done a little better, but I understand that they didn't want to make it too, symbolic and stuff. I also thought it was a little bit funny where they gave that woman the line in the town hall meeting or whatever saying, "Oh, it's the Russians." So I said, "Oh, let's keep a Cold War by all means." So yeah, I'd say a 7.5 with the mention of a good soundtrack, a nice homage, and good female characters, good female actors. But other than that, I wasn't too thrilled with the story.
And I'll give this an 8.5. I'll give this one more than Alex. I liked it. It was a good science fiction. It was great children's story. The other story that it kind of had a, speaking of homages, it kind of had an homage to was Stand By Me. And yeah, that was Will Wheaton and, his first movie. So yeah, there was lots of good stuff in this. And thanks, Brian, for suggesting this. And with that, I'm going to pass it back to you, Lee.
Yeah, I got the Stand By Me vibe. Also, I sort of got a Goonies vibe as well.
Oh, yeah, yeah, exactly. Quite right, too.
We'll have to do that movie one day. Brian.
Yeah,
What's the scores on the doors?
my score for Super 8 would probably have to be a 10 out of 10.
Well, there you go. We can't say any more than that. I'm not going to go that high. I'm going to go a 9. It's going to be a Super 9 for Super 8 for me. Yeah, it's just because of those damned lens flares and everything else I can deal with, but they get on my wick. Those do. So we have talked Super 8. We've enjoyed it. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, listening to what we had to say. If any of you guys out there want to join the cast, just, leave a message. We're always on. We're on social media. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're all over the place. Share a video. If you want it, just share it. Share it about. Tell your friends about us. Tell us some weirdos here. Just get together every week and talk movies and TV and audio drama. So if that floats your boat, come and join us. So until next time, we will say bye-bye for now. And Brian, say advertising. Brian, go on. Are you in some partnership with a film company?
Maybe.
Maybe. You're waiting for that check. So until next time, we'll be seeing you.
Arrivederci.
Yeah, and that as well.